Well, we are back
Look at this.
on the pod. Second cup of sunrise. He's James. I'm Brennan, and we're back together on this Tuesday, December 30th, the penultimate day
Penultimate day
of this month and year.
10 days for you? 11?
What was it? That Friday
11, I
the
think.
18th? Yeah, so it's like 2 weekends plus.
Pretty good.
Yeah, long time. I'm
I
still
bet it was
getting back to the
nice.
groove. Yeah. Thanks everybody for filling in for whatever you did.
We did
the show and everything.
the podcast a
Yeah.
couple of times. Ron and I got on some good random tangents, as this show
That's
always ends up doing.
What the show is.
I think
Yes.
we only had 2 things to talk about yesterday, so we were just anything and everything.
Bills.
No sports,
Oh, you
Brennan.
you
No
tried.
sports.
We tried. We
I
tried.
tried, and I just couldn't get anything out of her.
Listen, this happens, and if football's not your thing or whatever, but I try telling her, like, if the Bills
Yeah.
are good, it's good for business. If the Bills are bad and something happens like Sunday, it's
Yeah.
good for business too,
Yeah.
because it's just talking, it's just content.
It's
We'll have
content, yeah. So I would relate it to, like, I would try to relate it to something in her life, you know.
that. Yeah,
Like, losing is like, when you're trying to buy a house and you lose the house out. She's like, oh yeah, I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Like just things like that. So I eventually got to her with just lots of metaphors.
we have a lot to catch up on. Obviously, everything with the weather. We'll have that in just a bit. But yeah, so off all Christmas week.
Yep.
I think it was the first full week I did for this year, which was different. I totally disconnected. I've got 1,800 emails, I think, at work.
That's
I need to
pretty
go
good.
through.
That's pretty good.
I want to try to get through it today. I am one of those people. I've
Yeah.
got to keep it empty.
Yeah,
I don't just mass delete. I actually read them, and I've done this long enough. I can know within 2 seconds if I can delete or keep going.
Do you have a lot of filters on there?
I actually no, not from like
Because we have like
bosses, managers, or from
I guess like we get press releases out of like Florida, Dayton County, Florida.
we do that. There are so many fundraisers for politicians that come in from around the country.
Right.
We get Baltimore Sun emails that come through, daily stuff.
Yeah.
And the way that works is there was probably some story that happened with some Rochester connection, and we had
Right.
to log in, create accounts,
Right.
and then we get them all the time.
Yeah.
Some people have
Right.
their main boss or their supervisor that gets filtered to a certain thing, or it's maybe something just from me because I send out a daily email for the day ahead for what we're doing on Sunrise. You may do weather, but no, everything goes to one inbox.
That's crazy.
Do
I
you
have hundreds.
do you put up an away message when you're out?
No, I don't do that. No, but I have hundreds of filters. So my inbox is pretty clean because I filter out so many things.
So,
Press releases.
but you have one main inbox that is curated for people in this building.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I see everything that everybody sends me that is of value,
Yeah.
basically. But all of the random press releases, the state press releases, most of the crime stuff I don't see, which you got to see because
Right.
that's important for you. For me, I have kind of like a 1 year rule. Like if I've gone this long and it still says do not trust this sender, I'm like, obviously I've never opened this email. Whoosh,
That's it.
send it off. Yep.
I have 3 people in this building who I searched like yesterday. So I looked for Rory, who's our boss.
Yep.
Jim, who's our web boss.
Yep.
And then the GRE people, I do the twice a month interviews. I was just double checking things with them.
Sure.
And they knew I was out, but they still sent some emails. So that was it, and I felt okay. And then come in, and whenever I'm out for a long time and I get on set, it's just the rush back into it. I always feel thrown off. Like it's the first time I've ever anchored. First time I've ever seen a
Yeah,
teleprompter,
sure.
script, knowing what was going on.
Feel a little green still.
Do you get like that
A
the first
rusty.
time back in the
Yeah.
wall?
Oh, for sure.
When you're doing-
Especially when it's busy.
Yeah.
You definitely get a little bit green. Sometimes you talk about areas like I was thinking about like the town of Ridgeway, which I very rarely talk about, but they were getting like hammered with snow, and I had to. Oh, Ridgeway. That's the town that's over there.
Yeah.
So on the west side.
Last time you did that would have been like your town by town, which you did for a couple of months
Yeah.
to do every group in our
Yes.
area to
Yeah,
highlight
yeah.
that.
That's right.
On the podcast, I had a story from Christmas. So we always get together at my in-laws. It's the Robusto family Christmas they host.
Yeah.
And we see some people where we see them once a year, twice a year. And Stephanie's aunt Vicky came in the
Nice.
door. And
Mhm.
I know she's awesome. And I know she listens to this podcast now.
Oh,
because
cool.
when I saw her and she came through the door, she was like, Brennan, a new guy. I love him.
Yeah.
Love watching him. It's so sweet. She's the best. And she makes some awesome holiday cookies too. So I had like 20 of those. And we were talking. She's like, I just love the show. Came over you, followed you from 8. And I love you and James.
Shout out Vicky.
And Iran.
Yeah.
And she's like, and you've got your podcast. And I was
Right.
like,
Wow, she
yes, we
listens to
do.
podcasts.
Yes, got that. I was like, it's the best part. And she said she just loves listening to it. So
That's great.
that was fun. So I heard from several relatives and friends over the break.
Nice.
Love us, but they mainly called out they like your weather.
That's
and
good. I
everyone
appreciate
loves
that.
Iran. Everyone loves Iran.
Iran
When
is
she comes
great.
on. Yes.
Yeah, she's just like, I think you can see how genuine she is as a person.
Yeah.
Like she's the same person on air as she is off air. You know, so I think that authenticness of her is
Just
real.
so real.
It's
I would
very
say
real.
it's got to be because she's from Brooklyn. Just
Yeah, but I
that's
think so.
what it is. Before we get to
What kind of cookies?
sugar cookies with
Yeah.
great decorations
Some
all over.
frosting,
Just the
classic.
frosting, and then there's some others that look like. So it's chocolate on top, crusty chocolate on the bottom, and it looks like green mint in the middle. I don't think it's mint though. It may just be the coloring of it.
Sure.
They're great. And then she made some almost like cake pops because in the middle it's just mushy. And it was just chocolate. So it was
Yeah.
chocolate on the outside.
Oh,
I bit into it. I was
nice.
like, this got to be an Oreo or something. And
Uh-huh.
no, it was just fudge, just straight out.
So good. Yeah,
Yes.
we had some mint bark. I love bark.
Yes.
Peppermint bark, just the crunch in there, and then the sweetness. And then we had some. My sister made the peanut butter with the Hershey Kiss on top.
Mhm.
Those are classic. She has great sugar cookies, and then I like the ones with like the raspberry jam in the middle.
Mhm.
Those are pretty good as well. And my wife does not like those at all, so it's like basically only me. So I'm like, sweet.
My father-in-law Frank, his big thing, Italian heritage, making Italian cookies, and he makes a ton for the holidays. So our
layers.
big event, we took the girls over there,
Yeah.
and just made 100 of them
Oh, that's
in
great.
one afternoon.
They come out good.
And the girls are just rolling. Yeah, they came out great. He made the first batch and came out and said they're a little warm, and I bit into it,
yeah.
and I said they're great but a little soft. He's like, oh, it's the ricotta cheese, and I was like, I think it might need to go back in the oven for a second.
Oh,
Yeah.
boy,
It
really?
was a little doughy, but
Yeah.
it was good. And I fully embraced this year. It's a holiday break. I'm eating whatever sweets. Just
Yes.
pounding on. I loved it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that was a
You got 2 more
lot of fun.
days, and then you can lock it back down.
We have that, and then it's New Year, same me, all that.
Right.
Speaking of, before we get to the weather and some of the news, so I did a week off. In 2 weeks, the family with the summer side is going to Disney. So that's like a
That's
big,
right.
big thing coming up. Between that, we're getting our floor installed next week in the living room.
Wow.
2 days.
Yeah.
So we got to get the carpet up, everything like that this weekend.
man.
Our
Furniture.
13-piece sectional out of the living room.
Where are you gonna put it?
There's just gonna be pieces of couch all throughout the
All
house.
through the house.
It comes apart, but it's heavy to move. So we'll do that
Yeah.
and finally get the tree down and stuff. And then I went out to check the mail one day last week.
Yeah.
And I see this letter from Monroe County Court System, whatever.
Oh,
and it's like jury duty.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
That's another
I'm
thing.
I'm like, oh boy. And I'm like, I know this isn't me because I had mine about 2 years ago, and I think you get a window of 3 or 4 years. They don't call you
Yes.
back. And I open it up, and it's like for Stephanie. And I'm
Yeah.
like, this is you. And
Uh-huh.
I check the date, and it's Monday. Is that the 6th, 7th?
That's so soon.
5th? Yeah. And so I'm like, you got summoned. And she's
Yeah.
like, oh no, when is it? And I was like, it
Uh-huh.
is next week. She's like, I can't do that. We got a big anniversary thing at work. I've got
Yeah.
the flooring. We're getting ready for Disney.
Ugh.
And I'm like, I think you got to go. She's like, well, what do I do? And it says, if you can't, call immediately because this was a week long. At least it wasn't a grand jury where it could be 3 weeks, something like that. And, but I think she's been going and
Wow.
see if she gets called.
Yeah, you have to call the evening of after 5 p.m.
Yes.
to say,
double check everything.
And then
See.
they're like groups 1 through 600,
Yeah.
601 through 800. Don't show up tomorrow. And then you're
Right.
like, yes. And then you do it again. Yes. And then the third day, show up tomorrow. And you're like, come on.
Did you ever get called?
Yeah, I did. I got like to the second round. And then I was like, I wore the News 8 jacket and then I was fully caring for my children at that point. Like
Yeah.
Mason was like 2 years old and the childcare was like not working out. So I was the childcare, which is fine, but it also meant that I was like, you want me to bring the baby into the courtroom?
Right.
Like, how are we going to do this? And they're
It
like,
is
"Okay, go."
it's a wonderful civic duty for the people who do this and give up a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks longer of their time for whatever. You don't know what case it's going to be. When I got called, I was in between jobs. It was the first thing I did when I left my last station here in the city,
Yeah.
and it was the Monday after. So I leave on a Friday, get summoned for jury duty that Monday, and I show up and go in. We're in the different rooms, and they're like, there's no automatic disqualification for being a reporter or whatever. You have to go through the questioning. And the judges, everyone, the lawyers, they're all pretty open-minded, and they can help people. So they call us in, and there must have been, hundreds of people. I was in the first group. We go to the courtroom.
Yep.
There are 2 defendants, defense, prosecutors, judge. And then they start calling up 20 people at a time, and they go through the random questions of,
Right.
do you know this case? Do you know these people? Are you a single parent this week? Can your job, everything if it disqualifies you? And they finally get to me, and I'm sitting there, and the judge goes, Mr. Summers, is there whatever the question was, any reason why you can't be here? And I was like, well, due to my occupation, and I got a couple laughs and smiles in the room. I said, I'm pretty aware of people in this room. And he's like, okay, I need you to name them. And I said, well, both those prosecutors, I know those defense attorneys because I've tossed to them on sound bites. And I said, I actually know these defendants. I said, I think I know what this case is, vaguely. And he was like, you're dismissed. And everyone in the room kind of got it. And it wasn't that serious. And then I left out. So that was my experience. So we'll see what happens with stuff next week.
I know. Just definitely drop the childcare thing. And then and also, like, the Disney trip is booked.
Well, that is, I know. And I think hers was for a week, but we'll see. Like, you never know how long it could take. And,
or if it's
just
after
it's coming.
That following week.
And sometimes they'll just say, you can delay. And we'll get back to you in a couple months or
That's
send it
also
again.
true.
Yeah.
I was read. This is kind of random, but I read an article. I think it might have been a Times article, talking about the PTSD of people that are on juries. That, like, it's not really addressed a lot. Like, when you cover, like, really nasty cases of, like, either murder or sometimes when children are involved and things like that, and you have to watch, like, video over and over and over again and stuff, and how people on juries, like, get scarred from these cases because it's just like an average random Joe, and then they have to watch and listen to these sometimes horrific murders and things like that, and there's, like, no help for them. Like, these people leave these horrible cases and having to, like, live with that for the rest of their lives,
Yeah. No, it's a great point because what they see in court, unless you're the dayside reporter that any of these TV stations or newspaper have that go and sit and listen to testimony, see evidence, we don't ever see it. You don't see it on TV when we cover it. Like,
because we don't cover the gruesome details.
They see the unedited stuff that RPD collected at a crime scene, whatever it may be. And more importantly, you mentioned it, the testimony from whatever victim it may be. If it is
a woman crying because some, rape or, something horrible happens to her, and they just have to listen to it and take notes on it and then make a decision on it. And it's like, oh, that trauma.
I know. Even though, like, no jury's ever shown or anything like that, some people do in a high profile case. They'll go do an interview if they choose to, but then it's just, thank you for your time. And
off you go.
We send you may be excused, and we'll finish the sentencing and other court dates and stuff coming up as well. This is a great point you bring up.
That's a lot.
Okay.
Anyways.
Yesterday, this weather, it was insane.
Yes. Oh, we got to cover this.
This is this one video that popped up out of right on the shore of Lake Erie that a ton of people saw yesterday, and it just kind of sums up what everyone was going through. And then there's an incredible backstory to this too. So just listen to the sound first. So that is an abandoned BMW, windows down.
All four.
At a lakeshore restaurant in Hamburg. Police say it was actually stolen from Buffalo and dropped off in the parking lot of the restaurant, and the water was just flooding right through, just crashing through, drenching it for hours and hours. And then here's some of the other footage from around the area. It was just like...
just brutal.
Brutal. And all these reporters like ended up going over there because someone knew what it was.
It's
like,
not even a Kia.
No, a BMW, not a Hyundai, not that. And just sitting there and just getting hammered.
Man.
And you just feel for that car owner who maybe recognized it or was looking for it.
Yeah.
And you
File
see
the police
it
report.
and hope that something is covered from out of that. But man, just wild. And it was just some of the images we saw. There were downed trees everywhere, power lines brought down, roof damage, tens of thousands of outages. Here, at one point, I think it was up to like 20,000, and then around between us, Batavia, and Buffalo too, just over and over. And the wind, it was almost hurricane force.
Yeah, 79
Buffalo?
mile per hour wind at the Buffalo airport. What's crazy about the lake, though, is that so it was a seiche, Seiche, seiche. And it's like, when your kids are in the bathtub and the water is sloshing around back and forth, the water gets sloshed to the eastern shoreline of the lake. So in Buffalo, you have really high water levels and it's splashing against it. But if you go on the western side, there's no water at all. So there were people that were going onto Lake Erie and they were like, I can't see water for miles.
Wow.
Because it was just empty. And so they found like a snowmobile that was underwater that was covered in like zebra mussels and stuff. And they were finding like shipwrecks and things like that. And it was pretty interesting to see from one side where you have crazy water splashing up. And then the other side, it's like a ghost town. The water literally sucked out of the lake.
It was so weird because it was like 50 yesterday morning. It was so mild. A little bit of sunshine came out, and then it was like midday, and the winds just started ramping up. Yeah. We were out and about, and then had Julia sleep in the car. We were about to go in a store, and Brooklyn was drawing, and I didn't want to go home. And we're sitting in a parking lot at a plaza, and our car is just rocking, like side to side, like not even sometimes when your kids can make a car rock, like way worse than that. And then I'm like, okay, everyone's up. Let's go to get out of the car. And I swing open a door.
Oh, no.
I should have parked facing the other direction. So it would have closed shut, not that way. It was just horrific. And then we're carrying him in, running some errands. I was like, man. And then it started snowing. And the snow was blowing up, like at a 45-degree angle going up.
Going up.
And I was like, there's no way it's going to stick or anything.
That's
This is wild.
Right, it could be snowing inch per hour snowfall rates, but it's literally sideways and up. It's like not sticking to anything.
Like it's landing somewhere in Baldwinsville or
Yeah.
wherever, like from wherever that fell here. We some snow about that this morning. If I can see them pull up our graphic. There we go. The bands.
Yes, there it is. Pretty interesting to see the skinny bands here. This one looks like across Batavia starting to thicken up. That one's getting a little bit more intense. I think that could actually swing up in our direction over the next, several hours here. So, it's always going to be kind of a threat where you get some light snow showers, but then it kind of fades, then it picks back up. And I think Wayne County probably still getting snow right now. You just can't see it on radar. So just know that we're going to continue to get snowfall, likely lake effect over the next several hours, probably some more minor accumulation. But if you look at the grand scheme of things, the city only has about an inch or two on the ground. So it really hasn't been that much. It's just been tough driving conditions and low visibility, quick accumulations, just not a lot of accumulations.
No.
Over the last, day.
I know. And this is just one of those long duration events because Friday after Christmas, we got in Webster 6-8 inches of snow in 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah.
It was just,
yeah.
I was like, it's been years since we got that. And then this, as I was seeing the alerts for what was coming, the wind and then snow, but everything was by like Thursday or Friday. So still to come. We'll keep an eye on that. Got more coming away on the pod. As I am back, we'll talk about the Bills and that 2-point conversion. How about that? A lot more coming your way. Back here with James, I'm Brennan. It's Second Cup of Sunrise podcast on this Tuesday, December 30th. We talked a little bit about the snow and stuff. Also, the video from the airport. A lot of people may follow him on Twitter. Joe, is it
Frascati?
Frascati?
Yeah.
He's a worker out there. And he shares videos, and they get picked up by Nightly News, CBS Evening News, World News Tonight, everything. And it's always of airplanes coming in and landing. He had so many of just incredible of like trying to take off in time or trying to land in time before it got too rough. And then we went out there and we were talking to some people just about all the delays and cancellations because this was the whole Northeast of people trying to get from Rochester, different hubs. And it was the same this morning. Just, basically half of them were still going out, the others not so much. And some people just wondering when they might actually get to that final destination.
As we pulled out of the driveway in Penfield, I suddenly had my phone blowing up with messages from the airlines saying, sorry, but we're canceled. Friday, is the earliest I'll be able to go home.
Friday.
And it's a 6 o'clock in the morning flight. And I don't really care to get up early. Thank you very much.
It's an unknown.
Thank you very much.
It's obviously partly weather driven with the wind. It's kind of a waiting game, just waiting to see if the flight actually takes off.
Ugh.
Oh man,
That's the
it's still
worst.
sitting there. So either you came to visit for Christmas and you're trying to get home, or you're trying to do your New Year's, your other winter break trip. As
Yep.
kids are still off for the rest of this week, and just feel for them. That woman saying 6 a.m. flights.
Not for
No,
me.
yeah, not for me. Thank you very much. That's good. So on. And from Monday to Friday.
I know.
The
it's
whole week.
So late. And
know.
also, it's like 6 a.m. flight. It means you're getting up 3 a.m., 3:30, something like that.
Yes, but those are the ones that are, weather aside, always
Yeah.
on time.
Usually on
6
time.
a.m., yeah.
Right, exactly. 'Cause
That
the
first one.
First flight of the day, and you're not dealing with afternoon thunderstorms or
Right.
anything like that.
Right.
So get out the door.
This Bills-Eagles game, and we've got all week to talk about this and the playoffs starting in
Yeah.
less than 2 weeks now. So Sunday, we were watching the game, and we actually had a date night with Steph. And so we go out to a restaurant, and we're eating, and I see in the bar, the game was on. And
Yeah.
I was like, the Bills aren't coming back. And by that time, the third quarter passed. It's in the fourth quarter, and they're up on the goal line inside the 5.
They were
wherever that
down
play
13-0,
was.
I think.
Yes.
like that, yeah.
And so they had scored, and then they scored
Missed the
again.
missed the field goal.
Yes.
Key.
Yeah.
I think that was more key than people realize.
And what's his name? Michael Badgley, their
Yes.
emergency replacement kicker,
Yeah.
got released. So maybe Matt Prater is coming back for
Yeah.
this week. And
Yeah.
so anyway, so they line up. They have a chance with a couple of seconds to go to either do the 2-point try to win it in the game, or kick the field goal, go to overtime,
To tie
play
it.
for them. The Eagles dominated the first half. The Bills kept them to like 12 yards in the second half, whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
And so they end up going for 2. And we all know Josh Allen didn't find Khalil Shakir. And people were saying, how'd you come to that play calling decision? And Sean McDermott and his offensive coordinator answered that.
We always kind of talk going into the game, having ideas of, the type of 2-point plays we want. There's obviously different type of ones going into the game. Is there got to have it 2-point plays? Is it, hey, just is the one from the 2? We had a couple plays in mind downside the red. We showed one look, and they called the timeout, and we talked about if we felt like this other one would have been better, and we communicated, and Josh loved the look.
We hadn't had a lot of success getting down there to begin with, and in fact, that drive it took a 4th and 10 or 4th and 8 hook and lateral type of play to get us down there, and we had missed the extra point early in the game or got it blocked, and felt like, hey, we get a chance to win the game right here, put the ball in the hands of our best player from the 2-yard line. I like those chances.
Man, he had him too. He did.
It was right there.
I know.
So I think, a couple takeaways. It's Josh Allen's fault. It was a bad throw.
Mhm.
Shakir was open.
Mhm.
I think that he just was a little excited. And I kind of made that joke earlier. I think you just get excited. You're
Yeah.
like, oh my gosh, there he is. And then
He
he
just
just
rushed
kind
a
of missed the
little
throw.
bit. He had someone near him,
Yeah,
but
he did.
Yeah.
Rushed a little bit. But he's made that throw 100 times.
Yeah.
And shout out to the NFL for pushing the field goal back.
Yeah.
Because I think the big
From 35.
from
yeah.
to 35 yards,
Yeah.
because that forces them to miss the field goal,
Mhm.
because then they would have just probably kicked another one if they had made the first one. And also it makes Sean McDermott definitely question the fact that whether they should kick a field goal, because if he missed it, he could miss it again.
And because he's like, I'm on my 3rd string kicker right
He's
now
in his third
and
string
trying to figure it
kicker.
out.
That's that brings in the drama. It
Pouring-
makes more
yeah,
drama.
It does. Pouring down rain, the wind, and everything. And
Yeah.
so that left Buffalo, the 7th seed, and we'll see how it all shakes out. So they got the Jets, and for that, which could be the last home game ever at the Highmark Stadium.
That's right.
Likely. They're going to bring back the classic red helmets for that.
That's pretty cool.
They haven't worn these since 2001. And we'll see that as they say goodbye coming up at 4:25 playing the Jets.
They look so much bigger in these old videos. Obviously, it's just because the pads are a lot bigger.
Yeah.
But
It's huge. Nothing's as tight, and everyone's wearing the same pads almost. It was like large for everybody.
Oh my gosh, they were so big.
Yeah. So we'll have that to look forward to coming up this weekend.
Yeah.
And that does it for us here on the pod. As
How
we're back.
about that?
We'll do it again tomorrow.
Welcome back.
The final one of the year. How about that?
Yeah.
For
That's right.
New Year's Eve. Bye, everybody.
Get the Rochester First streaming app today for everything you love from News 8 On Demand, plus exclusive shows you won't see anywhere else. Search ROC and download for free on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV.